So I wanted to tell you, like, don't blame the relationships of the past, because all those events have happened for a reason. And at that very moment, there is nothing wrong about you choosing a person and being with that person. And in the end, it has come to an end. You both have found a purpose to come together, and it has served. It has to naturally let it be, let it go. It's no point in constantly bringing that past into the present, because what you're going to do is you're going to have an elaborate version of the past. Because if you're constantly, past is a movement. The only way to stop that movement happening into your future is be very present of what's happening in your life right now, rather than constantly talking about it, dealing with it, try to get rid of it. Uh, all that is continuity of the past still, and you cannot no longer able, because what it takes your present moment out of you. Now, take a vehicle. Now, if you have put up 4 sets of tires and you're going, if you're not present, you can be the tires of that highway and constantly blaming about the roads being not tough. Roads have pebbles, or you can decide to be the driver, or you can be the passenger of that vehicle. So ask yourself where you are at in life. You might be the tires, you might be the smoke. I don't know. Whatever the elaboration is, it's not about correct wording, because I am a very lack of words. Uh, but you need to come into this realization, not just subject and object. So saying that, I'm going to take you into the class and I'm going to pinpoint these areas, why people have come into your life, why people have left. And it's great. It has to happen. All these things have to happen. Why you have left a younger body to become this body. It's no need to fight for what is gone. But what is in present is absolutely need to be awake. And otherwise, you will no longer have the insight to enjoy. Saying that, now take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back, lift up that space of the heart, and elevate for a moment in the space of gratitude. That this very moment does not be clouded by a future or a moment of a past. And there is nothing troubling you other than a thought that you're feeling emotion. And I want you to come into that place. Now, when you take that deep breath in, into the count of 4, hold the breath into the count of 4, breathe out into the count of 4, pause the breath into the count of 4. So very gently do this square breath just to release that you're not feeding your breath into the past. You're not emotionally trying to run away from a past to a future. It's still an illusion. You're just becoming this space of awakening into this present moment. Now very gently twisting the spine to the right stomach, hold in on the out breath. Spread those shoulders, elevate the space of the heart. Let those kidneys become more buoyant. See whether you're holding anything on the left shoulder today. See whether you're holding anything on the right shoulder. And jaws, any tension. Breathe in and breathe out very gently. Come back into the center. Shoulders relaxed, chest open. Change the leg formation. Fixing the spine to the opposite direction. See what we are holding in these spaces of the polarities, spaces of the right and wrong, good and bad, love and hate. Back to the center. Now move the camera towards Darren. Arms raised onto the crown. Interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. See the rib cage and find the space of that rib cage to soften a bit. You're keeping some amazing organs in there, your lungs, your heart. Are you overly protecting it? Are you not allowing it to feel things? Are you protecting it from a past? and constantly worry about the future. When you relax that moment and breathe out, spread the wings wider. Now take a deep breath in, very gently walk those palms into the front, coming onto the knees. Very gently onto the knees and coming into the space of the cat, unlocking that locks in the ankles, knees are separated. Really push the bum down and take a deep breath in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate. Now the tongue is very important so it does not collapse into the back of the throat. It's pushing into the roof of the palate. Now breathe out. Now anus lock. Animals do this a lot. Navel lock, throat lock. Energizing the main three chakras, Muladhara, navel, on the throat. Breathing in, tongue roll up into the upper palate. Energy gaze onto the space of the third eye. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Relax into neutral spine and give a good rotation to the hips and see what is energetically holding on these hips and bringing that lightness, bringing that awakeness into the space and see what are you releasing. Mind is always searching for reasons and often blaming yourself for the way things are. On to the other side, wider rotation. Take a deep breath in, push the hips into the front, push the hips into the back, and release the tension of that inquiry that constantly has not become an inquiry, become part of like a loop. Why did they leave? Why did I do? All these questions. If you don't have a practice, you're constantly haunted by this. You're filling this space constantly with your present moment. Now, there is no reason people come in our life. Parents come, children come, they go, some comes. So leave this puzzle and not to organize this puzzle. What matters is that you are able to come into the space of the heart. You're not carrying or you're not the carrier of a past. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in and coming into that fleeting pose of the up face. So this is a time to elevate. I didn't know what was meant to happen, but you may have find the reasons why something has ended, why something has been done. Breathe out towards the down face. Now very gently walk your feet gently, as in the process of the body. Now take a deep breath in, left leg up into the back, left knee to the left chest, breathe out, breathing in, stretch back, left knee to the left elbow, breathe out, breathing in, stretch back, left knee onto the right elbow. Breathing in, stretch back, left foot into the front. Now drop back knee and hold for a second. Hold for a second. Reflect on the impact with all this questioning, fighting that has had the effect on your flow of life. What have you lost? What are you fear of? What are you fear of facing? Where it is this space you're holding in this body? Is it the navel? Is it the chest? Is it the hips? Is it the knees? Take a moment, take a moment. Arms stretch into the back, arms raise onto the ground, interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Turn to the right side and opening up into the seated Virabhadrasana. Take a mudra to remind you that you're governing this space in this limitation of the body. To remind you, reminding you. Gentle arch, back to the center, elbow onto the knee, right arm reaching up into the front. Reflect on, have you been in the process of the grieving? Have you let that space someone have leaves in its natural field to avoid that sense of loss? If it is overwhelming, find the space that you're holding that overwhelmingness. Maybe you don't speak the words anymore very clearly, very sufficiently. Let that space to relax in the space of the mind that is taking the body on hostage. Reaching the right arm onto the floor and touch the floor. Take a deep breath in, left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Into the back, touch the floor. Release that blame, self-blame. Don't take the blame why someone has ended this or someone has started that. These are not the questions you should ask. Your mind with doubt and regret is a problem space. Into a plank. Strong on the pelvic floor. Drop the knees and stretch the spine. Arms facing up. Let this body hold nothing. Let the departure of the past to be the departure of the past, but not a failure of whether it was the health, whether it was for finance, whether it's a relationship. Just take a moment to breathe the essence of what they both. Even sickness brings certain level of profound essential growth. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, elbows onto the floor. A gentle cobra. Gentle cobra that has the patience, that has the understanding, that has the worth of the manikya, lifting, showing the beauty and the grace of this posture, overlooking into the right side. Let the breath be the flow and the transition of this energy and the vibration and the frequency back to the center, onto the other side. Now, let's say hypothetically you went with a lot of pain, a lot of resentment. But what has it forced you to look at? The deepest fears that you have acknowledged, confront without running away, without dragging yourself back into the center, onto the knees and onto the down face. Now let the posture become the evolved version of you. Let the energy becomes the evolved version of you. Right leg up into the back, rotation to the right foot, release any shackles, holding, right knee to the right chest, breathe out, breath in, stretch back, right knee to the right elbow, stretch back, right knee to the left elbow, stretch back, right foot into the front. Drop the back knee, come into a place of Hold on to the knee, push the hips into the front, arm stretch into the back, arm press onto the crown, 6 deep cycles of breath. Let those lymph nodes to release the tension that you're carrying under the armpits, around the throat. Allow the breath to be the move into the present. Palm onto the namaskar position. Come into that space that you are not hindering anything, but you're blossoming into the growth of all these right and wrong, loss and win. This understanding can be difficult if you don't have a practice, because you still work on a place of a subject and an object. Now, when you come into this space of the realization, take a mudra and opening up onto the Virabhadrasana on the seating pose. Take a mudra to remind you. It's easy to get lost in these. Now, how would someone get lost in this? Wishing that things could have returned how they were, wishing that things was never apart. Find a way how you're clinging into the past to prevent you from embracing this present moment. Gentle arch, elbow onto the knee. Stretch back that left arm, putting up, touch the floor. Right reaching into the front, up to the ceiling. Touch the floor. Leg into the back, drop the knees. Drop the knees and stretch the spine. Palms facing up. Now, from a past, if you're looking at a future, you're missing out on the present moment. And this sadness to get out of it is in the future becomes. But it's actually getting out of it is when the movement of that thoughts ceases in the present moment. The movement of the past with the frequency and the vibration is creating that sickness. So it ceases. Before even taking a medication, you have to get your mindset into that harmony, because everything is psychosomatic. New opportunity won't come if you're constantly in the space of fight and overprotection. But all these events, if you embrace in a place of compassion, contributed to a lot for who you are. It's shaping. In some way, all the things that happen, all the people have come to our life and left us, they do still have an imprint on us, who we have become. Not necessarily the negative version of ourselves, but the realized part of it. You would have thought to find happiness because of deep sadness. Now, palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a gentle, deep breath in, breathing in into a gentle cobra. Now, you understand up to now? Take a cobra that you have learned the lessons and elongate this growth that somehow you have come into that place. Everything is played in the favor of you. I have become a great partner, a great teacher, a great friend. Maybe for some, it's no longer there. And may I have learned so many things, and it has guided what is more important for the journey, the reciprocal nature of the relationship. And that's what makes us human. And we all becomes this contribution to this amazing, vast vastity of collective growth. Relax the third eye onto the floor, elbows pointing out. I just want you to enjoy the sense of peace and acceptance that you have come into. I'm coming into this sacredness, coming into this holiness, letting go with that grace, knowing now let's coming into the present relationship that we currently have with the health, with the wealth, with people, with the world. Are they in the space of cherishing, or you think you have to constantly fix things? What is the lesson for you? How long things have to be the same for you to change? What are the things that you learn when those things were there as they are? What is the mindset that you're approaching into the future with the change or the loss? Just contemplate on that space for a while so that you can breathing in that space that you're holding, that challenge in the body. And come into the gratitude so that energy can transition into a different vibration because your perspective is allowing to see things in a different way. Palms where the elbows are, breathing in into a up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Now very gently drop the knees. Knees wide apart. Stretch the spine, palms facing up. I want you to surrender into wherever the world is at, wherever your perception is at, whatever the chapter in your life, we need all these chapters. What kind of richness that all these events have brought you. Some have decided to live with us, stay with us, grow with us. Some have come like a migration bird. When I say some, I'm talking about events. I'm gone. It may come back. It may never come back. But this not stop your life coming into that present moment. This is the natural rhythm of the human connections. This is the natural rhythm of the human connection to the nature, natural connection to the health, wealth. Things comes, things go. Now, are you a person who wants that things to be the same? Imagine things being the same, that you want your children to look like 5-year-old kids. I don't know what the age you prefer there. You want your parents to be in a certain way. You want the nature of the countries to stay away. Now take a moment to have gratitude wherever the world is. You're also evolving. Wherever the health is, you're evolving. Wherever the finance is, you're evolving. It is helping your journey so that you can deeply discover yourself and what role you're playing in all this. Are you the vigilante? Are you the warrior? Take a moment that if something has left, their role in your story is completed, and it's time for both of you to continue on your separate paths. Whether it's the finance, whether it's the health, whatever. You have now a different way of approaching. Time is the past. There's no future time. When the past come into a place of meeting with the present, then you can modify your future. A lot of people are modifying that path. So take this moment. Now, when you come into this realization, very gently come into the innocence of a child pose, just that the movement coming to an end when you're present. So thoughts are not constantly leaking your energy. You understand? So the whole movement of the knowledge is not having a lot of ideas, but it brings to cease that past. It brings to cease that future into the present. When the future comes, it's also present. Otherwise, you're not going to be present to that future. If you are constantly worried about the past and the fear and the loss, there is no freedom to observe your new. How could you observe the new? So this is the path that it has to stop. It has to come into that space of that realization. Now wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. I don't want you to come into the practice about coming from the place of a desire, coming from a place of an idea. It's still thought and image. So you are in a very content way coming into this realization. Now you're in the space of Vajrasana. Bring this rain to the rest of the body. Bring this rain from the top of the head to the eyes, not as an object or a subject, but just naturally, easily. This realization, let it rain all over this limitation of the body that the mind sees. At that moment, you could see that it's no longer holding you. It is no longer this mind has the tentacles over the body, suffocating it. You can immediately put something away, not entertaining it. Very gently coming onto the knees. Now we are going to do the Uttarasana, the pose of a camel. So understand the philosophy of the posture. Great journey in the desert, sustaining the energy of the water. So let the kidneys to be lifted up. Let the flow of this energy, purification of the all these things, give some energy into that space. Not that you're attached to the physical body, but you are holding this space and you're moving this space as a healing. You follow? Right arm reaching into the back, very gently holding onto the sacrum, left arm reaching into the back. You can hold the back, or you can go like Darren to the heels and push the hips. Huh? Now let this moment, let this transition happens from memory is no longer needed for this transition to happen. Support the back, go back to the child pose. Take a deep rest in that space. When you come into that understanding, when you come into that realization, this is nothing you verbally say, I got it, I will stop it, I won't have to do it. Nothing like you agitate the mind again. That means the past, which was a movement, and the now, which is not movement. So you are discovering the present moment. But don't say what it is, because as soon as you capture the present moment through your perception of the past, you have lost it. You have modified it. Wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. Stretch the legs into the front. Release any static that you are releasing today. It can be from the feet, it can be from the knees, it can be from the ankles, it can be on the. Remember, pain is energy, vibration, and a frequency. But these frequencies are triggered a bit more when someone lives in the past. I'm not saying that your pain is not true, so don't take it word by word. Just take the vibration and the frequency and the energy of the talking. I like to talk less, but it's hard to do a class by that. Just observe where are the movements. But let all the movements happen without bringing the movement in the language and the mind and the thoughts. So now there is no verbal communication running the body. Now bend the knees slightly, pull the buttocks out, arms raised onto the crown, very gently rolling forward. I'm not looking for you to do a massive Paschimottanasana. I'm just looking for you to deeply understand this thing. I'm bringing in the embodiment of the practice into the body and releasing some past from this moment. Doesn't have to be a story. If there's an energy of a frequency of feeling and it wants to get out, please create a doorway. It might be on the out breath, it can be a thought, it can be a movement, whatever that is related to. So the movement of the past now has become embracing the feeling of the present, which is immovable. So it is a movement of the past. So you are in the immovable of the present. Now, if I ask you who you are, you have to go to the past to meet the present to answer that. But I'm not asking you that. So you have a choice. Every time some people are repeatedly talking about their past. Now let that energy move and disperse into the places that it needs more. Very gently coming back. Knees to the chest, completely breathe out. Arms raised onto the crown, feet stretched up. Get that pelvic flow engaged. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Cross the legs very gently and twisting the spine to the right side. Back to the center. Cross the legs slightly and twisting the spine to the other side. Opening up the chest. Back into the center. Arms very gently raised back to the crown, cleansing the space. Feel the richness of the present. Releasing the loss of the past, overwhelm of the past and the future. Let this be the foundation of your awakening today. Arms raised onto the ground. Very gently cleansing the space and the aura of your body, house, state, wherever you want to have that energy. Palms onto the namaskar, position into the crown, third eye, throat, and to the space of the heart. Reflect in this space. Solar plexus, navel, and Muladhara. Arms very gently raised back to the crown. Palms onto the namaskar position. Namaste. Namaste. We see each other's face of this realization and we acknowledge the limitation that the past has. And you are waking up from the illusion of all this. So, as I have to go to appointment, more than me, it's Darren actually has to go. So I've been very honest, and it's good to see you, Sylvia. Good to see you, Rebecca, Des, and the beautiful addition to the family, a Liz, and a beautiful friend of Liz. Great, Maria and Sage. Great to see you. Yasmin, great to see you. And Dr. Michelle, great to see you. Yes, so it was a very quick class, 45 minutes. I'm so sorry, but I love seeing you all. And don't take it anything personal. There's a few people are going through certain things, and it's okay to go through those things. But I don't want you to carry the burden of thinking that person was not the right one for that. Because in that we are entertaining still, it's in the past. Uh, it's great that person came into your life, and you will understand this realization one day. And it was meant to happen. Some people have children with their past partners, and they move on, and they're amazing about it. So we have had these intimacies in so many ways, whether it's to the finance, whether it's to the health, whether it's to the wealth, whatever it is. Take some time and drink a lot of water. Embrace the spring is coming. Prepare your bodies for the spring. So do a gentle detox, whether you want to do some juices. Please, please, I get this question asked a lot about headaches. Put some herbal oils. Coconut oil is great. Mix up with some rosemary and castor oil. Massage it, keep it for a while, and then have a bath because it does create your neurocircuits to calm down a little bit. I use a lot of Celtic salt to breathe because I'm very allergic to the pollen these days. So that's help. And some lemon juice is great also to keep that flame down. So my love to you and big hugs to you all. Love you very much, and I'll see you soon. Take good care. Love you.